I just realized that we're halfway done with the game. I think like around the Haunted Cathedral or Mage Towers is basically the halfway point. But yeah, hello everyone and welcome back to more Thief Goat. It's been a while. Last time we did the Mage Towers, which is arguably the longest mission in the game. At least so far for us it's been the longest. We got our first talisman, the Earth Talisman. As a reminder, we need 4 talismans in order to gain access to the Haunted Cathedral and get the Eye for Constantine and get a payment of 100,000 gold, which should be enough for us to basically have an early retirement. However, I have little hope that it will be that simple. But yeah, that's what we did last time, and now we're gonna get the second out of the 4 talismans, which is the Talisman of Fire in the Lost City. So let's begin.
The Keepers have hidden the Talisman of Fire in a place they call the Lost City. Some kind of cataclysm buried the place underground ages ago. The Keepers have sealed the access to the city, a cleft in the river bottom near the east side. If the materials in the library are right, the strange stone I found can be used to open that seal. I've also got a map. It's so old the edges crumble in my hands. It shows the city, or at least how it was back then. I hope the old place hasn't changed much.
Alright, second talisman is in the Lost City. This is another one of those like tomb raiding missions. There's basically well, there is enemies of course, but there are no human enemies. So we don't really have to worry about that. And it is kind of combat, not really combat centric, or even very combat heavy. But there is some combat here and there in some areas. But it's mostly a tomb raiding mission, and a lot of people I think dislike this mission too, because you know it's the whole tomb raiding shtick or whatever, but I think this is one of the better missions. In fact, I think this might be the best of the more like paranormal tomb raiding missions in the game. At least in my opinion. I don't know, I just love the vibe of this. It's basically you're exploring an underground city that has been like... It's already sunken because you're not underwater. If anything, it's the exact opposite. There's a lot of lava everywhere, but it's a very unique... Well, maybe not even unique, but just very cool premise. I think the way it's executed is really well done. And yeah, you get to see more of it. It is kind of broken though. This map has a few areas that you can easily cheese, and I will demonstrate those. So it's not perfect, but still, it's a lot of fun in my opinion. So on normal, all we have to do is enter, find the sealed entrance and open it, get the Talisman of Fire and get out. On hard, we also have to get 2 medallions from a Keeper Expedition. And some extra loot. Kind of interesting how we don't have to get any extra loot on normal. And on expert, it's basically the exact same thing, except we have to get even more loot. And another interesting thing about this mission is that if the game loads... Come on. Jeez, okay. Another interesting thing about this mission is that this is the only mission in the game where picking up the hint actually does something for you. It's 150, and it's a letter that basically states an acquaintance will sell you a commission. He has to pick up some antiquities which you may be able to find around the Lost City. Now, this is a very interesting premise, because if you do not pick up this note, there are basically a few masks in the theater of the Lost City that normally are just items that you can already pick up or anything. But if you actually take this note with you, you can actually pick that up as loot. And I think it is worth more than 150. I think it's like 300. So you can basically like double your loot that you get by just picking this up. So I'm actually gonna pick it up. If anything, just to show where the loot is in case you're going for a 100% run, even though this is not really a 100% run. So I'm also gonna pick up some rope arrows, because this is another mission where if you waste your rope arrows you get soft locked. It's actually kind of funny how there were only 2 missions in the base game where if you don't have any rope arrows you get we don't have any fire arrows you get soft locked, but when it comes to rope arrows there's at least 3, I think. And they didn't really address that in Thief Gold, so that's kind of funny. Alright, I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of water arrows. We need water arrows not only for undead, which are gonna be present in this, but also a new enemy type, which we'll get to see. Flash bombs. Do I need flash bombs? I would like a gas arrow. Now you might be asking yourself, wait, well, why would you get a gas arrow if there's no humans here? Well, you might be surprised. Even though we don't have an objective to not kill anyone, there are actual humans here. Hopefully that'll keep you in suspense. I think I definitely want the health potions, because some of the enemies here are a bit tricky. I don't think I want the flash bombs. You know what? Let's get a gas arrow. Maybe 1 flash bomb. A good measure. We don't really need breath potions. There's literally water only in the beginning of the mission, and you get enough, just barely enough air to survive through the swim. I think that's good. I guess I'll get a bunch of these broadheads, because I can actually kill stuff. If we take a look at our objectives again, you can actually kill stuff here. The map, this is probably the most useless. Actually, no, there is one map that's more useless than this, but this is the second most useless map in the entire game, because it tells you basically almost nothing. There are like these logos here that you can actually see in the mission itself, like the wheat here, or this talking head, this bird and person thing. So you can actually encounter these symbols. However, the area is so vastly different than the map, as you might expect, because the city is like in ruin, it's buried and all that, that honestly, like, this map is completely unhelpful. I've never even once opened this map in my life when I'm actually playing the game, so I don't even know why it's here. I guess if you're like some super genius or really good with like maps and landmarks and whatever, I guess this could maybe prove useful to you, but I don't know, personally I find this useless. In case anyone is watching this VOD who has played this game and has actually used this map, do leave a comment, because I'm curious to hear if it's actually any useful to anyone. Anyway, let's begin. Pop a save as usual. Alright, so what's interesting is that we actually start here, which this area is normally the end of the Assassin's mission. However, because the Assassin's mission glitched out and we didn't get the objective to run all the way down here, we actually don't know that. But yeah, this is basically where Garrett lives, right here in this building. Probably up there somewhere. So this is where we start, which is quite interesting. And you can come down here, but it's basically a locked, closed gate. There's no way to open it. Wow, that waterfall looks both pretty and jank at the same time. Now, there is a piece of loot that's honestly kind of annoying to get, and it's also basically completely impossible if you don't get an extra rope arrow, and it's actually beyond this wall here. Believe it or not, that is actually wood, so you can shoot your rope arrows there. And yeah, see, this is why you need 2, because even if you try to pick it up, you don't get enough momentum to actually jump past. This is a really annoying piece of loot. Usually I skip it, but because I'm doing a playthrough here on YouTube, I decided I'm gonna try to get it. So right behind these boxes, we have, oh, actually 2 pieces of loot. A plate and a goblet. And now we have to do the exact same thing, and on the way back it's even worse. Because we have to jump from around this corner here, which can be really annoying with the janky physics of this game, as you can see. I think I might have to shoot this a bit higher. Yeah. I really hate this piece of loot. I've only ever gotten it once when I was going for 100%. And the worst part is that you have to leave this arrow behind, this one that you shoot here. There's no other way around it. At least you can get the other one back, but this is why you need 2 arrows. In hindsight, I probably should have brought 3, but whatever. Okay, and down here is this thing. Ironically enough, I don't think this is actually in the Assassin's mission, because this area does appear there. Kind of weird how that thing moves. Magic, I guess. This is the only section with water, which is why breath potions are not recommended here. Plus, they actually give you air pockets that you can use, like this one. So as long as you take your time and you're observant, you'll be just fine. There is no loot down here, thankfully. So there's no, like, urgency to get anything. Now, here you have 2 options. You can either follow the water and fall down the waterfall, or the safer route is to actually sneak across here and kill all of these spiders, because otherwise the... Well, the spiders up here won't really be a problem, but the spiders downstairs will be. So you're better off just doing this. Because if we look over, that is where we need to go. We're right now gonna fall down from up above, but you can also climb down from below. But if you do that, you're definitely gonna get spotted by the spiders that patrol that area. Which is why this is the recommended approach. And why it's a good idea to bring extra broadhead arrows with you. Because there's a lot of spiders, at least at the beginning of this mission. Probably the biggest concentration of spiders in the entire game, honestly. Outside of maybe the last mission. Here's another one. Oh crap, I missed. And I think there is a bigger spider. Yep, there he is. The mama spider. And this one has more health, as you might expect. And here we are. Oh, this is surprisingly bright, a lot brighter than in the vanilla game. Now there's even more spiders here. I think a grand total of 3 patrolling spiders. Of the smaller variety, thankfully. They're kind of annoying to hit though, because they're really small and they're constantly moving. But even if they spot you, don't panic. They go down with 1 singular arrow shot. Yep, this is the 3rd one.
So, this is the Lost City. It's not lost no more.
Down there, you can probably barely see it, but there is a moving orb of fire. That is a fire elemental. That is why we needed water arrows. As you might expect, using water arrows on these guys will actually kill them. That is the only way to kill them. Okay, so here's that one of those 2 game-breaking sections. You can actually get to this area here, this viewing platform, from the top of this tower. So we need to go all the way around, grab the fire template or whatever it was called, the fire talisman. And the intended idea is that we're supposed to go all the way back, and on the way back there's gonna be even more of these fire elementals. Except what you can do is you can literally just climb on top of the tower and use the strafe jump bug to get over here. It takes a few attempts. It's kind of tricky and finicky because of, I mean, the game's physics are awful, but you can actually do that. Unfortunately, you cannot do the reverse, right? I have tried it. You might think, oh, you can probably do the exact same thing in reverse, like start from here somewhere, gain some speed, some momentum, and then jump and grab that ledge. But at least personally, I have tried it, and it doesn't really work that way, sadly. And even if it did, we're playing on expert, so we're supposed to actually get keeper medallions and a lot of loot as well. Oh, another interesting thing is that this is the only game that has a special loot requirement of an additional 500 in gems. So this is something that I haven't actually mentioned yet, but surprisingly, because it doesn't really come into play except in this mission. If you take a look at your loot, you can see that you have 3 categories. You have gold, gems, and goods, and of course total. But these categories, they only really come in play in this mission. No, there's no other mission. There's not like, there isn't a mission where you have to get an exact amount of gold in gold. That's a weird sentence, but you get what I mean. It's only this mission where you have to get like 500 in gems guaranteed. But that's really easy because there is a room with a bunch of gems that gives you way more than 500. So, and it's kind of hard to miss that room as well, since it's basically in your way on the main path.
How can the keepers keep this place a secret?
Indeed. It's a weird wall texture. Yeah, I'm starting to see why people don't like this mod. Bugs aside, of course. Because a lot of these textures are actually not that faithful to the original game. I don't mean to be a purist. In fact, I hate purists. Coming from the Minecraft community and partially from the Half-Life community, I can safely say the purists are stupid. But, or at least can be stupid. But this does sometimes defer too much. Anyway, expect a lot of bullocks in this mission, especially in this beginning building or area. There's like, I think at least 5 bullocks, which is kind of annoying because there is some loot where they are. So if we come down here, that's a dead end. I think it's the other way. We have to go to the basement because the basement has some loot. That is the exit. This map also has a lot of readables. Oh. Forgot about this guy. Alright, let's start with this readable. You can also tell that this is a keeper's journal because it has the little lock symbol on it. That's how you know it's from the keepers. Despite hardships, I have welcomed this opportunity to study the city of the Precursors. Their society was remarkable, stratified like the bedrock and seemingly as stable. Above all was the Emperor, a divine figure answerable to none but their gods. Emperors were seldom seen by the common people, and this distance gave rise to a powerful and politically charged bureaucracy. The last emperor but one, Vatarok, seems to have been different, an unprecedented man of the people. So the Precursors are basically the, I guess, civilization that came before the current people that live in the city. That's the show that's called in this universe. And think of them like the Mayans, basically, or like those ancient like civilizations, like ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. The Thracians were one in the Balkans. They're basically the same thing, but this world's, this universe's alternative. So it's interesting, like we get to slowly piece together what actually happened here, why this place fell under the way it did, which is really fascinating to me. I just love like little log building like this because the Precursors are not even like that important. Again, there's a lot of like stuff that isn't really important to the main plot, like the oh, that's a cool effect. There's a lot of like factions and stuff, like the Hand Brotherhood, which aren't that important to the main plot, but yet they still exist and were added just for world building's sake, which I really appreciate. Because we're not really gonna see anything else from the precursors. It's not like we're gonna meet a precursor in the future or something crazy like that. It's just here to give some background to the world and make it feel more believable and real. Don't mind me just fighting bricks. Don't vomit on me. Rude. Right, and this is the area I was talking about with the loot. There's some right here, as well as another note. Some of these notes also do give us hints on how to progress. I think this is one of them. Benir has been informed that you ordered the sacrosanct parchments moved to the archives beneath the Great Temple Palace, lest they be destroyed by the angry and fiery breath of the earth. On the morrow's eve, we shall move ourselves there as well. Do not tarry. So it seems like this was written shortly before the cataclysm or whatever it is happened here. Oh, also here's the papyrus that we got for the masks that we can now pick up. Sangar, let me know if you ever come across any good antiquities in your explorations. I'd be particularly interested in any ritual headdresses and masks. The gold and animal work from Zurich is increasingly rare, and I needed to point out that if you ever found something dating back to the precursors, I'd make you a rich man. Bram Gervasius. An interesting thing about this is that we actually get to... Well, we don't get to meet him directly, but we get to... Basically, this guy will be relevant in Thief 2. That's all I'm gonna say, without spoiling anything. Of course, it's gonna be a while until I get around to playing Thief 2 on the channel, but regardless, keep that in mind. I will definitely remind it once we get there. But for now, let's focus on Thief 1. That's the game we're playing. Alright, out here there's a very, very easy to miss piece of loot. There's a diamond up here.
Anybody home?
So right now we're in this residential sort of area. This is the central, I guess, square. That is the... Or this is the temple. One of these is the temple, one of these is the theater. Again, it's completely impossible to tell. And I believe there's like... Oh, that's the fire tower. That's where we need to go. I'm actually starting to read this map a little bit more, and I guess it kind of makes sense. But still, a lot of this is like... Chinese, basically, to me. Most of these houses are completely empty. They don't really have anything for you. You do occasionally get stuff up above them, like that fire arrow. And there are more bricks here, unsurprisingly. I think this house has loot on the second floor. Yep, a plate. I'm trying to think. There is... Okay, I think that's the way to progress. So it's probably... Yeah, it's down here. There's this area. It doesn't have any loot, but it does have a lot of fire arrows. You don't really need fire arrows all that much. You mostly just need them for bricks, and we're almost done with the bricks in this entire mission. But I like to pick up everything I can find. Hello, Rai. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, not many people are interested in this playthrough in this game. Again, I lost like 20 subs over the past several months. Initially because of inactivity, and now because of me no longer doing Minecraft. Because, I mean, I guess that's understandable. Most people subscribe for the Minecraft content, and now that I'm not doing it anymore, makes total sense. It also doesn't help that I'm pretty sure my channel was shadow banned by YouTube, so no new people are gonna discover this. But again, I don't care. It's for being too based. Yep. Okay, there is another piece of loot around here in one of these houses. I don't remember which one, though. There's a crown, I believe, or a tiara, or whatever it is. I'm gonna wait for the Burek to come down here. I gained 3 subs from being inactive. Again, not only was my channel demonetized, but I'm pretty sure it was also shadow banned. No, 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 no! Oh, crap, it's a good thing I... Come on, dude. It's a good thing I brought my potions with me. And now I can't even hit him because of the janky-ass hitboxes in this game. You can actually hear some explosions. That's the fire elementals. And yes, the fire elementals will fight the Bureks. So if you get them to confront each other, you can use that to your advantage and just let them kill each other and go in at the very end to kill the stragglers. Okay, here's the tiara. Okay, I think usually the fire elementals win because their explosions are a lot more powerful than the stupid Bureks' farts or whatever. Yeah, the fire elementals are a bit janky to fight because when you're charging up your arrows, you move very slowly, so it becomes near impossible to dodge their shots. It can be an annoying enemy for sure. I believe these pillars here do have the symbols, yes, so this is this symbol. So that's, I guess, sort of how you can know where you are, but again, I've never really used the map. Because the area isn't too confusing. Maybe the first time around, but after a while it becomes second nature. It's relatively well designed in terms of layout. But then again, I say that, but I often get lost here because I know all the areas, but I can never remember which area leads to where. Okay, here we have 2 more of these annoying bastards. Three more, in fact. On expert they take 2 hits, but I think on normal and hard they take 1 hit only. Alright, this area, I remember this. There are some arrows here. There's a quiver with regular arrows. There is... Oh, a piece of loot as well. Very nice. Fire arrow. I thought there was boss arrows. I guess I'm thinking of a different area. You're also streaming within work time in America. Yeah, but most of my viewers are not American. Jonas is German. And... James was from Iraq, I think. Anyway, here's another note. Dear Milo, the city is too grand for this unworthy country lass. I visited the Emperor's Colosseum. Such a spectacle. The Colosseum is bigger than our village. We'll get to see the Colosseum soon, and this never made any sense to me because the Colosseum is actually really small. So the village must have like really, really tiny houses. And only like 2 or 3 of them. The cheer is deafening when they extend the bridge from below the royal balcony. Great doors open and the combatants enter the battlefield. A raised island in the middle of the arena. Hundreds of magical fires float on the surface of the water. I saw there a gladiator who wrestled with a pair of lions, and the emperor's son himself tossed him a bag of gold. I'll tell you more later, but Cherok calls. Naza. I really like these notes because they give sort of a perspective. They make you imagine how the place used to be before all this happened, which is really a nice touch. Again, makes it feel all the more believable. It's crazy how important good writing is in a game. Or any story for that matter. Okay, this is this area. So this is the theater. I don't recognize it by the logo, but I recognize it by the shape and entrance. And this is actually where we get not only the masks, but also all the gems. All 500 of them. Well, 500 in terms of loot. There's only like 26 or 24, I think. One has fallen to the ground, kind of easy to miss. Okay, there is another fire elemental. Let me take care of him and then we'll take a look at our loot. There we go. Barely see that, it's so tiny. 695 gems, okay. So that's that objective complete. And also here are the precursor masks. They're right here. Again, if you don't pick up the note at the very beginning, you will not... the game will not consider these loot, basically, so you will not be able to pick them up. Well, you can pick them up, but you just throw them around like an object. Anyway, I think that way is to progress, I think. Yes, this is what I mean. So I know that that way leads to somewhere, and this way leads to somewhere down here. Question is, I don't remember which one leads where. One of them leads to where we need to be in the story or whatever, and the other one leads us to the arena. But before we go to the arena, we actually must visit a different area. Ah. Okay, this jump I believe you can actually make. With enough practice, I think you can actually make this jump and literally grab the fire talisman and get out. But again, we have an extra objective that we have to take care of. But there's a lot of areas that you can easily cheese like this, all because of New Dark and its shenanigans. Okay, I think... no, I think this one... yeah, okay, this one actually leads to... oh, god damn it, I can never remember. So this one actually leads to the Colosseum. Also, this area is kind of tricky to enter. If you don't take it slow, you will slip and fall inside the lava and die. So be careful around these, like, this weird geometry there. Okay, so we actually have to go back to the theater place. It's right here. You can also... actually, let me enter from the theater itself. Not only to show that off, but also... I never really showed what's in this area, because in this section there is actually no loot. So normally I just avoid it. But there are 2 fire arrows there. And I believe there's also a readable. I think it's here. Yes, there it is. I'm gonna try to find out the readables for you guys. I think it's this one. A speech given by Master Ruitan to the Guild of Enlightenment. The priests tell the ignorant that the earth is crying for her departed brother, Vatarak. We know that these tremors signify something more ominous. Turok would have listened to us and evacuated the city, but his son is less enlightened. The guild must protect what we can, by whatever magical and mundane means we possess. The tower must not fall. So it almost feels like whatever happened here is punishment because of the... punishment by the gods because of the Emperor's greed. We'll get to learn more about this Emperor soon in more readables. Also, this fire actually looks pretty damn good for a game from 1998. Granted, this is a improved fire on the HD mod, but still. Yeah, I think I have to go this way. Okay, yeah, that's the way we need to go. Is there anything down this way? Any notes or anything? Aha, there is. Again, normally I don't get the notes because I've already read all of them. Whenever I play the game myself, I just skip through most of these areas and just get the loot. To honor the life memory of our departed father and king, Vatarak, son of the sky, the Colosseum he built for his people will be closed for a year and a day. Let the gates be locked and none make merry while the sky and earth themselves do shake and cry for their departed brother. This I decree. Vatoran, son of the sky. So the leading theory with what actually happened here is apparently the battles at the Colosseum were sort of like sacrifices to the gods, and because they stopped for a year and a day after the passing of the previous emperor, his son, we'll get to learn that he's greedy. I still don't know how he's making money from just closing the Colosseum. You would think it's the opposite. You should keep it open to get even more money, but whatever. Because he closed the Colosseum basically, and the sacrifices therefore stopped, the gods got angry, and yeah, they basically ruined this place, put it under rubble. Thing is, why aren't those gods like angry with us? Because we don't do that. Unless maybe we do by some secretive society that we haven't discovered yet. Who knows? I may be pulling your leg with that, or I may be hinting at something that might happen in the future. Up to you to decide. Okay, yeah, let's finally proceed now. Of course, if you've already played this game, you will know the answer to that. Alright, so we gotta go around, climb on top of the roof. Careful of that hole, because it not only leads down back to the main area, but there's also a lava pit down there. Would be very unfortunate if you would fall. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is the area we need to be at. This is the area with the bird and the person. So we're over here, kind of out of the way, but you'll see why we have to come here in a second. And the reason why I'm climbing on top of these houses is because eventually there will be lava underneath us. So you have to take this route. And here we have...
I see you, not the earth will protect me.
mages.
To me.
Crap. Let's try that again. But yeah, I told you that that the last mission wouldn't be the previous mission wouldn't be the last we would see of these guys. If I can actually hit him, that would be nice. Oh my freaking god. Yeah, this is what I mean. They move very fast, so they're kind of tricky to hit.
I am falling. To me.
Okay, got him. There are more down there, but hopefully they didn't hear their buddy die. What's interesting is that these mages in Thief Goat, they're not actually, or in the original Thief, the mages are not actually here because they don't exist. So instead, what you have here is Craymen, which I guess makes a bit more sense. But what's cool is that the mages make an appearance here since they're clearly looking for the talismans and they know that the fire talisman is around here someplace. So they're just like looking for it. I guess they didn't see the obvious freaking hole in the wall showing the talisman in plain sight, but whatever. So they're looking for the talisman, but what's also interesting is that this is the only the only mission in the entire game where there are humans and you can kill them on expert. Because again, I guess the developers never updated that objective from the original game, because in the original game there are no human enemies here, but in Thief Goat there is. Also, this is at least some of the members from that expedition. Here's one of the two medallions that we need to find for the keepers.
Disturbance. Do not try to escape.
Oh, how did you see me, man? Come on.
Escape while the sanctum is invaded. I shall. The darkness will not protect you for long.
Let's get in a sword fight.
May wisdom guide you on your. Smite you. No!
Oh, I see. So the air projectiles that these guys shoot, the air mages, actually home in on you. Interesting. And there is a note. Let's read it. This one. Yeah, this mission, I think this mission probably has the highest amount of readables that you can carry, which can get kind of annoying. You can actually drop items, for the record. I should probably drop some to clear my inventory. Let the tomb be dug deep into the earth and filled with all manner of things which are pleasing to serve him in his nether days. Splendor shall follow our beloved monarch to mark his glory, and woe to those who would disturb his sleep. They shall be imperiled from below, from above, and from that which is directly before their eyes. This is actually a hint that there is a trap that we need to be careful of when entering this tomb. Yes, we're about to enter a tomb. That is a tomb right there, where the Emperor Vaturok is actually buried. Over here we have a gas arrow and the silver nugget. The gas arrow will be very useful for us, actually. And I believe there's a very easy to miss fire arrow right here. You can barely see it in amongst the flames. If I can pick it up. There we go. And down here there is another mage, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna douse this torch. Okay, no, apparently it's the mage that we killed up there. Okay, well, whatever. Also, here is the area where you need drop arrows, and you need 2 of them. I have exactly 2. I think you might be able to do this with 1 if you shoot it at the center beam. But to be safe, I always use 2. I use 1 on this beam and 1 on the beam closest to the door. Again, this is a really massive oversight. But then again, it's actually not that big of a problem, at least if you're playing with New Dark, because you can actually skip the area where, like, the medallion for the expert objective is already up there. So this area down here is completely optional. Oh, but if you're playing the original Thief, then this area is not optional at all. I got stuck on the geometry again. Okay, so this is the trap that note mentioned. This guy already died. What a noob. You can already see the spikes up above, but there are, I believe, spikes that come from besides you. Actually, no, it's only those. Make sure to pick up the water arrows, because we're gonna need them, especially for this area. Knock him out. Move his body in one of these rooms. All of these rooms, by the way, here are completely empty, so don't bother wasting your time with them. The only rooms that are important for you are this room. There's another one with a bunch of loot. So this room has a lever. This will become important later. And there is also a room down here. Let me douse these flames. Yes, more fire arrows hidden amongst the flames. More of these guys. Oh, we actually have 2 gas arrows. Now, what's really cool is that fire mages are immune to fire arrows and air mages are immune to gas arrows. So even though there's 2 mages there, the gas arrow only works on the fire mage, because the other one is a air mage, so we have to kill him the good old-fashioned way. And the reason why I did this was because there is loot here. Loot is more important than human lives, you know. Again, enjoy this while it lasts, because this is the only time you'll ever see me kill humans, because it's allowed. These coffins are always empty, by the way. And this room is also empty. Now, here's the interesting part. So, if you recall, in the previous, I think it was the previous mission, I mentioned how in the original game, it doesn't really have the Mage Towers or the Song of the Cathedral missions. Or Song of the Caverns, sorry. And those missions have, like, a talisman each, of course. In the original game, This mission that we're playing right now, The Lost City, actually has 2 talismans. It has the Fire Talisman, which is still at the same location in that tower, and it has the Water Talisman. And the Water Talisman is actually in a cave carved out right here, a flooded cave, and you just swim through the cave. I think there's like 1 or 2 craymen that you have to fight, and then you get the talisman. Simple as that. In Thief Gold, this cave was completely removed because the Water Talisman has its own mission. So, yeah. But I honestly, even though the mission of the Water Talisman is actually great, I still prefer the way it was handled here, because there is actually a reason to come to this area, all the way down to this tomb. Like, you might be thinking, well, what about the lever that you just picked up? Isn't that important? Not at all, and you'll see why. But, yeah, like, I honestly much prefer the way that the original Thief handled it, in my opinion. Again, I just think the original Thief had much better pacing. Thief Gold's missions don't really add much to the game, especially 2 of them are kind of crap, and they just mess with the pacing, in my opinion. Hello, Jonas, welcome back to the stream. Alright, so now we're actually gonna go to the Colosseum place. I believe you can actually pick up... Yeah, you can pick up at least 1 of the arrows. Now, you don't really need the rope arrows anymore. Actually, you kind of do, but it's for a completely optional area with some loot. So for me, it's still important to pick it up, but technically you don't need it. This is the annoying part about this mission, all the backtracking you have to do. Thankfully, the very last and longest backtrack is completely skippable, and I always take the skip, because otherwise I would actually hate this mission, and I could see why people hate this mission if they had to do the backtrack every single goddamn time. But I don't know, like, I do admit this mission has its flaws, but I still like it. I guess I was always a sucker for the sunken / buried city type of level. Hello, Asano. Welcome back to the stream. I believe I do remember you. Come on, climb. Can I seriously not climb through here? That's lame. Can I climb through? No, I cannot climb. That just leads to certain death. What am I doing? Okay, here we go. This is the main stage, I guess. That's where we got the masks. And now we're gonna go down the other path that I was about to take, which is over here. It's a very scenic route. We get to see a bunch of places. We already picked up some fire arrows from there. There was some water arrows over there. There are some more water arrows here. The game really gives you a lot of water arrows, and again, the reason is once you pick up the fire talisman, the intended route is to go all the way back, and there's gonna be like a bajillion different like fire elementals you have to fight off, which is why the game is stacking you up on so many water arrows. But if you can skip it, why even bother? And the skip is relatively easy to do as well, as long as you like pop a quick save once you're up on top of the building. It's just a matter of trial and error. You'll get it eventually. Alright, and here is the Colosseum. This is the last area with some mages, so we gotta be careful here. But it also has a lot of loot. There's a tiara there. And almost every single one of these like side rooms here has some loot. This one... And in fact, this one also has like a little hidden area here with even more loot. And a note. Didn't I say I was gonna drop all these notes? Okay, this is new. From Secretary of Protocol Waitan. 2. Keeper of the Keys Fukuan. It is spoken that Vachoran has closed the Colosseum for reasons other than piety. In a year and a day of mourning, Toran may devise a way to make money from the building. Oh, I guess the Colosseum doesn't make any money. Okay, that's an explanation then about his greed. As cheering crowds word to his father is the clink of coin to Toran. To enter the key with Vachorak is genius. None will touch it, yet should it serve, it can be lost to grave robbers. Our new master is wily. This humble servant fears for Karath Din. So Karath Din is actually the name of this entire, like, city, the lost city. And this basically just... I don't think it really confirms our theory, but it definitely makes it stronger that... What basically happened was Vachorak died, his son was really greedy, so he decided to close the Colosseum for a year and a day because of quote-unquote mourning, and devise a plan to make money off of the building, because apparently the sacrifices that they made via the masked as Colosseum battles were, I guess, free to watch. So it's still kind of weird, but you can sort of like piece the puzzle together, and that is the most likely scenario. What happened? Sacrifices stopped because the battles in the Colosseum stopped, because Vachoran, the son of Vachorak, was very greedy, and that led to the gods being angry and basically destroying this place. Going back to the gym might have been the best thing I've done at the beginning of this year. Very nice, I'm glad to hear that. James, welcome back. I don't really go to the gym, but I should exercise more, because I am out of shape. But ever since I started working, I actually started exercising after my graduation. I did some exercising for about 2 months. But ever since I started working, I've been way too tired to even bother. Also, I believe there is a fire mage here. Yep. You can see him just bathing in the lava.
Something is amiss.
Which is really funny. But don't go there, that's completely pointless for you. You can actually leave that guy be. I mean, you can kill him if you really want to, but it's not really worth it. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't really do much of exercising anymore. I really should, because it's important and healthy, obviously, but at the same time, I'm so deadbeat tired after work that the last thing I want to do is freaking lift weights or run like a lunatic, so... At least I started eating more healthy, right? I actually started cooking for myself, so... I'm not only saving on money, but I'm also eating a lot more healthy than I used to.
A mystery presents itself. To hide in the
The sound of an intruder disturbs the air.
I fade. I shall return.
Your fate is a hurricane that cannot be outrun.
Okay, and kill this guy.
To me.
Alright, so you need the lever for this. Let me place it. This will basically raise a bridge that connects the main Colosseum arena to the building. However, this is completely optional, and I'll demonstrate how. It's actually super duper easy. It's not even a very difficult jump to make. But before I do that, there is this little nook here that has a gas arrow, potion, and fire arrow. And there is one last guy upstairs that got alerted by us killing those two. Normally I blackjack him, but... Is he still alert? Okay, no. Good. Yeah, there's this guy here. Let me just blackjack him. Right, so this is the place. So... we're supposed to, like, raise the bridge. However, check out how easy it is to jump. Wow. Okay, that was embarrassing. Let's try that again. Oh my god. Are you shitting me? Of course, whenever I do this live, I cannot do it. I do it first try. There you go. That's how easy it is. Just make sure you get the right angle and enough speed, and it's super, super easy. Of course, I will do it the legit way now, but I just wanted to show that to you. Also, don't forget, up here there is more loot, including the last mask. There's only 3 masks that you can get if you pick up the note at the very beginning. There's also this. I think there's another room with loot. Yep, right here. And let's go get the mask. Which is here. Here we go. 3 masks. That is the last mask. There are no more masks. And also this place is... you can't leave through here. Kind of random, but okay. And I believe there is another note down here. Oh, okay. You should really do it often, it's so good. I really don't like gyms. Because I don't like being around so many people. The only way you would ever see me go to a gym is if I have a gym buddy. That's a requirement for me. If I don't have a gym buddy, I'll never go to a gym alone. Boop. And... okay, that's weird. Why does it not make any sound? It's supposed to make sound. Oh well. That's an HD mod bug again. I know I say that a lot, but this mod is really glitchy, it seems. So don't take none of that protein shakes or whatever they're all BS. I actually eat protein pudding, but not because of the protein itself. I actually eat the pudding because it has less sugar and it still tastes really good. And I love pudding. But most of the like already puddings that you can get from the store are like have way too much sugar in them. And especially because I am really trying to limit my sugar intake, I'm eating them. Otherwise, I don't really care about the protein. Also, I've never been in this area before. I never even knew this was a thing. Oh, this is this area. Huh. Wow, okay. I'm learning new things about the game as I play. That's funny. Unless this was added by the HD mod for some reason. Otherwise, I just never really noticed that there, because I always just went straight ahead here. That's alright, but like, don't take creatine or that C4 stuff. No, I don't. I get my protein the natural way. Meat, nuts, and whatever else has protein, I don't know. But I have been eating healthy. I do still eat like junk food. I eat McDonald's every Tuesday. Because Tuesdays are the only days I go to the office. Otherwise, I work entirely from home. I go to the office on Tuesdays. And on my way back, I pass through a shopping center. And the shopping center has a McDonald's. So I always get McDonald's from there. But it's usually something small, you know. Just a hamburger or a cheeseburger with some fries. And the hamburgers and cheeseburgers are really small. They're not like the Big Mac. So they have technically less calories. And the reason why I get it is because I don't know what it is about that place, but that is the only place in the entire city that sells burgers that taste exactly the same as they did when I was a kid. I love them. I've had McDonald's in other places around the city and it always tasted awful. That is why I just stopped eating McDonald's altogether for the longest time. But I don't know what came over me, but one day I just decided, you know what, let's get some McDonald's. I guess it's just been a while, and lo and behold, it was actually surprisingly good. And ever since then, it's become a tradition. For the past like month or so, every Tuesday I get McDonald's. But besides that, I eat a lot more healthy. I cook for myself pretty often now, and I actually started eating fruits more often as well. I guess that's the difference, because before my mom would always try to get me to eat fruits, and I normally don't like fruits, but now that I'm buying them, I'm like, okay, well, I've already bought it, so might as well eat it. And the only reason why I buy them is because they actually go on really good sales right now. Usually around summertime, you get stuff like peaches, strawberries, melons, watermelons, all of these things on really good sales. So I'm like, okay, this is a bargain. I might as well pick it up, and then I eat it. So that's definitely a positive change in my life, at least. Also, this is the second and final medallion. So we have recovered the Keeper medallions from the Lost Expedition. All we have to do now is obtain the Fire Talisman and leave. And this note here is very interesting. Oh, I also just realized I missed another note from the Keeper expedition. Right, I think it was right in front of the theater. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh well. We had just come upon a tower in Stridy Tower, and it was agreed upon that we should deposit the talisman there. The staircase to the top floor had collapsed some time ago, which made ascension difficult. Eric had pointed out a ledge circling the tower, suggesting that one of us placed the talisman out there. I laughed at his comment uncaringly. This disturbs me. Tomorrow we shall head back the way we came. I cannot keep myself from wondering why the burning elementals stood at bay as we passed. Would they still stand now that we no longer carry the talisman of fire? Very interesting, because when you come back, there's like a lot more to fight. From what I recall. I could be talking out of my ass right now, because it could be just be a false memory, because I always, and I do mean always, take the route back. The cheaty route, if you want to call it that. Oh yeah, he's referring to this, by the way. I didn't know Cthulhu was in this game. That's cool. Anyway, this is the raw arrow that you need for this area, which has loot on top of this building. But it's completely optional, as I said. This is just loot. And I somehow fucked it up. Amazing. Alley-up. Alley-up. And here we are. A diamond. Ah, yes, I'm bleeding because I fell down like 2 feet. Yeah, this is really annoying. This is probably the most annoying piece of loot to get maybe in the entire game. There we go. Again, because of freaking physics. The physics in this game are awful. Probably the only bad thing about this game, honestly. Other than a few missions here and there. Okay, here we are. Get on top of there, come on. We're almost at the tower, guys. It's almost over. Here we are. Yeah, just ignore those guys. You can easily outrun them. Because they can't actually climb all the way up here, I'm pretty sure. The last pieces of loot, at least I hope so, I hope that I didn't miss anything, are right here. This rug and this golden goblet. And our last note. Fire rangs upon us from the sky. At the temple of Nyarlathotep, 4 hallowed gougings were offered to appease the acriminous earth. The sanguine overture has done nothing to pacify her. Yep, this was written at the very end. You cannot make that jump, by the way. You have to... I guess that note from the keepers we saw was a bit of a hint. We have to...
It's a long way down.
Do this. And shoot a raw arrow up here. Right now we have 4 of these. This is also really annoying because it's, again, because of janky physics, sometimes the Garrow just doesn't pick up the freaking rope, hold on to the rope. And here's the talisman. You don't really have to douse the flame, but I always do it because it doesn't really make sense for Garrow to pick up a flaming object. Oh, I guess I can't. Okay, there we go. And we got the talisman. All we have to do now is leave. And I'll show you the quickest way to leave. It's very easy. So we could go all the way back. But that's for pussies. Here's what I do. Come outside of here again. Shoot your raw arrow again. In hindsight, you don't even have to pick it up. I don't know why I picked it up. And climb, but this time all the way up. Imagine Thief in real life. I wish. Okay, and now that we're up here, that is where we need to go. That is, if you recall, that is the window of like the archway, whatever this is. That is where we first saw the tower when we first entered. All you have to do here is stand like right here at the edge, quick save, and keep trying this. Wow, I got it first try. Normally it takes you more than 1 try, but this is not possible, at least I don't think it's possible, in Old Dark, in the original game. This is not possible in the original game. But the mantling mechanic is straight up broken, so you can literally skip the entire way back by just doing that. It's so freaking satisfying. It's so good because otherwise this mission would be awful. I can see why people hate this mission. If you had to go all the way back, that would be very annoying. But now all we have to do is we have to just leave through here. We don't even have to leave like all the way back the way we came. We just have to leave out here and it'll be mission over. Very simple. And there we go, that was the Lost City. We got 2 out of the 4 talismans. We found the entrance to the Lost City. We got 2,000 in loot, including 500 in gems. And again, that's 500. That 500 is from within the 2,000. It's not like get 2,000 plus 500. It's 2,000 total, and 500 of those should be gems. We recovered the Keeper medallions from the Lost Expedition. We obtained the Talisman of Fire, and we left. Gonna save. And let's take a look at our stats. I did miss some loot, it seems, but oh well. But yeah, that was the Lost City. Next mission I will play probably on Saturday or Sunday. So expect it sometime during the weekend. And the next one is actually the 3rd and final mission introduced in Thief Gold. It's the best one of the bunch. It's the one that resembles Thief 2's level design and level design philosophy the most. It's really, really good, actually. So make sure you don't miss it. But until then, thank you all very much for watching and have a good one. Bye-bye.